retake, Josh.
Daito. Another big kill, but over the top, it'll be lucky. Cabby will drop, but lucky. In vain, takes one back. Molly through. MBQ turns away. Thought Lucky might be able to catch the timing there. He is emerging through this smoke. Oh, good reaction. MBQ, that's massive. Now it is onto the captain, the IGL. Iceberg worried there's still one on the site.
No way!
Have the information that they've crossed. And a missed AWP shot is what will put the final nail in the coffin. YaLLa, just a testament to what a flop this map has been. And you can see Iceberg laughing that one off. Yeah, he knows. He's got away with murder there at the end as SASHI pull it their way 2-1. It's a monster performance out of Cabby at the end. But ultimately a team effort to get it going. That was something special. All three maps fairly one-sided as well. What a series that was.
It's just... Honestly, there's been so many unbelievable fumbles from YaLLa, and SASHI have taken full advantage of it. Just time and time again, the multis coming out from Cabby especially, and then the IGL steps in at the end too. Man, there were moments in time where YaLLa looked potent, especially towards the end of that second map, right? But yeah. SASHI, overall, they definitely looked like the better team, and towards the end of that scoreboard, you get to see who the difference maker was. Even with Becky being as deactivated as he was, Cabby was happy to pick up the slack.
He certainly was. Look at that. Jesus. 29 and 9, 133 ADR. He was just an absolute monster. A couple of the harder hitters not really hitting all too hard in that third map, but I guess, you know, you realise that Cabby's the one that's kind of taking away a lot of those kills. But yeah, Zyphon a little bit quiet, Lucky a little bit quiet with that AWP, as was Forsey on the other side. That third map was a map that we just didn't really see any AWP action at all. And Becky having a bit of a stinker there at the end as well. But ultimately, they get it over the line. It's really, really good stuff from SASHI. They'll keep this streak going. They've been on good form at the moment. We've seen a lot of 2-1s from them. They never really seem to be able to get things done in 2 bites. And that will be another one that they'll add to the tally.
Yeah, it was a really, really good showing from SASHI. And I feel like they definitely deserve that one, right? And for SASHI, now that they're in the 1-1 bracket, they'll be able to recline at least a little bit. But on the other hand, YaLLa, they're in the death bracket, Josh. Now they're going to have to play those 0-2 games, which are hardly ever forgiving. Now, of course, the day's not over just yet. We've got more games coming up, so you're going to have to watch out for those. But, of course, it's going to be our lovely colleagues, Travis and Hayes, taking over the rest of the action, the evening games. We'll see you then.
She said she loves you.
But she can't love me.
But I love you.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xBet. On to the next one.
YaLLa Compass 2025 season.
If anyone peeks through, they're both dead. They're both dead in the smoke! Bomb drops, popped up behind it at the edge of... Away with a kill, but quick trade back from Ariel. Still through the
YaLLa Compass 2024 champions!
YaLLa, let's go!
Welcome back everyone to YaLLa Compass Contenders. We've got two more BO3s to bring you this evening, and two very interesting ones at that. One in the 1 and 0 bracket, and one in the 0 and 1 bracket. Of course, my name is Travis. Alongside me, Dweg. Once again, I'm stepping in for Jay, bringing back the duo from 4 years ago, of course, that Dweg knows all about. And yeah, of course, we're looking forward to this this third match of the day. Paravision 500, two good teams in Tier 2, but both can be very up and down.
And perhaps we're going to be the nightmare of Red Star again. Maybe that might just occur here for 500. Look, this is going to be two organizations that were both at, the MRQ versus two organizations later on who in the past had been quite successful, but probably aren't there today. So just keeping an eye on and keeping track on basically the newer iterations and the newer lineups that we've got in these two best of threes.
Yeah, for sure. And we can have a look at the Paravision roster now. And it's an interesting one, right? Because they occasionally do look like they can be at the very top of Tier 2. They do have that ability. You've got Nota with his great entry fragging and explosivity as an individual. You've got Belchanok being that consistent force of being such a great player. One of the most underrated in this tier of Counter-Strike, I think. Jame is Jame. He's doing Jame things. He's still very, very good. But one of the main things that, unfortunately, I have to point out recently is that you look at Travis's rating there, 1.01. That's the kind of consistent force you need from a player to be just the regular, sort of middle-of-the-line fragger when you've got these other talents on the team. Unfortunately, if you change his ranking, or his rating, sorry, to within the last month, that has dropped to a 0.94. Travis is really struggling individually lately. I'm not really sure what the reason for that is, and it's kind of hurting Paravision on a couple of their results coming in recently.
They've been strange with their tournament runs, because I think I looked at them in ECL and thought, man, they're on track to qualifying to Pro League. That would be great to get them at a Tier 1 LAN. And they go up against Bait, and they're, a map down in the best of 5 because they came from the lower bracket.
Yeah.
They win map 1, basically, win map 2. They're 2-1 up in the series, and yet the Ancient game goes to all rounds in regulation they couldn't close. They go to the decider and they just get slammed. They don't even hold competitive weight. They then went into the Bet Boom land where they couldn't even get out of the groups, which is really surprising that they would lose out to Arc Red in a derby matchup. So I'm kind of with you in the heights and peaks of very, very much at the glass ceiling as such. I mean, even their opening game against Amcal a couple of days ago, they lose Mirage, but then they go into Ancient and Anubis and they average losing 2 rounds across both of those maps. Yeah. So they've certainly got what it takes to be at the top end of Tier 2. I do look at them as being a serious threat in this comp. Whether they can win it is maybe a stretch too far, but I think that they're certainly getting out of this stage of the competition.
They really should, right? They really should. If they don't, then it's a massive underperformance, and yeah, we need to see more of that level of Paravision that we know that can deliver. 500, very also sort of weird state for them right now. I mean, obviously everyone knows about their abhorrent MRQ, literally awful performance for them across their 3 matches. And they responded to that by removing ships, of course. Everyone looked at it and was like, oh my god, why on earth have you removed ships? He's your best player by far. You can only put that down to maybe internal issues, maybe just felt like the balance was wrong. Who knows? Who knows? But either way, we have got this journeyman Bulgarian by the name of Red Star, who's been around the scene so much, of course, in international projects and in Bulgarian projects. And he's back again, and he's helped 500 to qualify for a recent an upcoming LAN in Prague, right? Which is definitely progress for the team, but it's still, you kind of still never know which 500 is going to turn up on the day.
And maybe that does come down to Red Star not even being here for even a month now. Like, it's quite recent time that he's joined up and tried to help out the side. I mean, officially he's a stand-in, but come on, let's be real, Trav. He's going to join this team. There's what other option do you have? There just isn't another fifth player that fits the Star roles and is decent at this level. So he will be the fifth player for 500 moving forward. I think the issue that 500 have is that they probably have even higher peaks than Paravision. I mean, they've won CCT Series 17. They got to the final in Series 20. They at least held their weight in the CCT Global Finals against Tier 1 teams of Imperial and Wildcard. You mentioned that they qualified to a LAN out in Prague. They placed it second in Compass Fall of last year, where they beat 9 Pandas, they beat Ents, they beat Gun5 in the playoffs. This team can go deep. The problem is they just don't do it in every cup. And then that's where you start playing the same sort of mind games with Paravision on, are you going to get a 500 that's really threatening, or are you just going to get an average middle of the pack tier 2 team?
Yeah, right. And I think one of the things that's interesting about 500 as well is that when they first like re-added Spellin, I was always like, wait, Spellin's back? Like, I thought they were kind of done with him in the Bulgarian scene. I thought they'd kind of moved on from that era. But honestly, I think he's been one of the bigger factors as a captain that's actually helped this team quite a lot to improve their form and get some of those wins that you mentioned, right? And actually, Cirque, again, definitely up and down without a shadow of a doubt, but he's revitalized a little bit. There's some great games from Cirque, some of that old flicky style we saw from the old NRG days, of course, which is he's still got in him somewhere. Vito coming in. Should be an interesting Vito, this one, because both these two teams like playing quite a lot of the maps that they share in the pool. We're definitely not going to get Nuke, as we can see. We're definitely not going to get Train. And we get an Inferno pick from 500. That is one of their better maps right now, and one they have the most reps on. And Paravision, you'd expect, off the back of that, will pick into a weakness of 500. They do. It's D2. And that leaves an interesting possibility of a third map that might come through in this series.
Well, I thought that Ancient may have come through, because I know 500 are starting to get Red Star a little bit more comfortable in that map in Tier 2. They go towards Anubis, and Anubis is one of those maps that, for Red Star, he's only played 3 times since joining up with the squad. 500 had a massive comeback on Anubis versus Sanglonely a couple of days ago. They were down, Trav, 1-11 on their CT side, and somehow managed to force it into an overtime win. I don't know how that's actually possible, so probably Spellin looking at that one saying, anytime it's a 3-mapper to sign up, yeah, let's just get on Anubis again.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Historically, as you say, not been a bad map. Actually, funnily enough, one they share pretty similar win rate on as well. But yeah, I think the Dust 2 should be an absolute slam dunk for Paravision, right? It's a one map they kind of have in their wheelhouse as almost like guarantee. And an incredible streak in Tier 2 recently on it, a couple of months ago, right? We're talking about beating OG 13-2, beating Navi Jr., beating Ents 13-5. We're looking at wins against Bait. We're looking at 13-0ing Fireflux, right? Like, it's just an absolute lock map for them. A couple of losses against Spirit Academy and Gun5, and that, of course, that Spirit Academy loss was the one on LAN, at the Bet Boom Lander LAN, right? And that's one of the main things we need to see from this Paravision roster. It's more consistency online, and especially finally get to a damn LAN, a big LAN, and show what they can do, because they've got LAN players on their roster.
And just look at Paravision on how they play, right? Like, their T-sides can be quite slow, work a lot of timings, work a lot of intuition on the mid-round, and it makes so much sense why Dust 2 and Ancient is their 1 and 2 best maps in the pool. They can just work so many of these mid-rounds, especially with Jame on the AWP. I mean, just posted on angles, pressurizing certain areas of the map, forcing over rotations, and then that's where they can really crack and really jump on opportunities and jump on moments. So for Dust 2, I don't think we're going to have too much of a contest. It's a really good map for Paravision. I look at 500, their Inferno's been quite good lately, their Mirage has been quite good lately, so we were at least going into sort of a secondary pick that we know is going to be strong for both sides. We should be going 3. I'd be really surprised if either of these two teams are able to get a 2-0 in this best of 3.
Yeah, it reads that way, doesn't it? If you look at Inferno for 500, you mentioned some of their decent results. I think they've actually kind of made it one of their more common picks as well. I mean, you mentioned, of course, the possibility of going toward an Ancient, but that one wasn't coming through. So, yeah, I think for 500, it's just a case of seeing some of those like individuals that have been the stalwarts of Big Bulgarian Counter-Strike for so long, like your Rainwakers, like Red Star, you know, as even Oxygen as well, alongside Cirque, really just deliver in the server when you've got them up against some of this really young, exciting talent from CIS on Paravision, of course, Nota and Belchanok in particular. So, really get underway on Inferno here. The 1-0 match coming in. Both teams won their opening game in slightly differing fashion, but now they go up against each other on Inferno, and we're ready and raring to go.
I normally see Paravision secondary banning Inferno when it comes to that second wave of the veto. I mean, even when you look at the last 3 months, their highest played map is what? Ancient at 33 times? Inferno is just 5. We very rarely get to see them play it at all. For 500, they're just scaling, searching, out here towards Top Banana. And this is a squad that is now 10 wins, 6 losses in the last 3 months, and has a pretty good T-side round win percentage. So watch out to see what sort of half they're going to be able to get in terms of a scoreline. Rainwaker cutting a rotate out there from brackets, just as there's a bit of an info play from Paravision.
Yeah, Paravision had nothing at all. They needed it, which is why they went for it. But they're going for a smoke top banana. It's giving Kicker an opportunity. There's one more where that came from as well. It's Nota right next to Kicker, and they've recovered it into a 2v2 off the back of that. And the worst part about it is that the bomb is dropped near the CT cross.
Nota is just keeping that further pressure out towards Banana, and Kicker has got to catch a timing. Rainwaker might have to ace. If we're thinking about this, Cirque, how much is he realistically going to be able to do? Be a bait out here towards Top Banana?
Yeah, that's all it was. It's going to send Rainwaker in now, but they're going to double peek him. At least try to double peek him. It's a bit of an awkward angle playing pillar and pool there. But Rainwaker, how on earth does he isolate either one of these? Nota doing the right thing, just refusing to peek. Jiggle, jiggle on the pillar. Finally, he's going to manage to isolate one, though, and Rainwaker will do it. We start the series with an ace. That looked impenetrable, but he finds a way.
For any of the viewers that followed a lot of Tier 2 in sort of that 2020, 2021 period, you'll remember a lot of the casters hyping up Rainwaker as one of the best clutchers that we've got in Tier 2. Extremely good in 1vx's, especially with the amount of officials they were playing. He was always up there in the stats for winning the most clutches. But that one right there, I mean, just to be able to force the fight in pool before transitioning back towards a pillar, that's just excellent. That's such a sick round from him.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say Paravision played it awfully, right? You know, the peaks weren't too badly off timing, so it was a great play from Rainwaker. And yeah, of course, one of those such important factors of some of those famous runs from like Skade, if you remember, especially on Overpass, right? I think they had like a 17-win streak on Overpass at one point, that Skade roster. A couple of streaks with that team. Yeah, it's a pretty exciting player to watch when he's on it. Unfortunately, that Liquid stint never turned out too good for him, but he's back at the tier that he knows best now, and he's delivering a good level.
This is 2 rounds in a row now in which the bomb site being hit is not the stacked up one. Now, we saw a lot of damage previously being held towards Top Banana, but with only a deagle in play from Kicker, I'm expecting 1 at absolute most. 500 don't even have much of a lurker. They've just got that passive first mid individual of Rainwaker here with the AK just kind of sitting there cutting rotates, but this time around there's no info play at all.
Yeah, it's comfortable. Paravision went for more of a stack, and 500 went nowhere near it. So no damage really to the CT side. We could have a weird round here where there might be a significant amount of players remaining alive. Paravision don't want to give 500 kills with the Mac 10s, of which there are 3, by the way. So we'll give 500 a relatively awkward gun round against the Paravision M4s. Sure, Paravision will be slightly light on util, but looks like 500 don't want to go hunting with even one of the Mac 10s. So bit of a unicorn round here with all 10 staying up, it seems.
And Trav was kind of saying how the massive failure was quite obvious for 500 at the MRQ. I think you could say the exact same thing for Paravision. Now, of course, context is important. They had a much tougher draw. I mean, who did 500 have to play? Ents, Big, and Gamer Legion in a best of 3, whereas Paravision took on Heroic, who qualified to the major, Astralis that got to the final game, and then Bait, who ended up qualifying. So if you're comparing the two, it was a tougher draw, but Paravision should be at least winning one of those games, at least being out. I thought they were in the conversation to qualify to a major, not to be going 0-3.
Yeah, I was totally on board with that opinion. I picked them as one of my teams to go through, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, the draw was tough, as you say, but they were at a level in Tier 2 at that point where you felt like, especially in an online MRQ, right, they would have an opportunity against the likes of an Astralis or a Bait, and especially Bait, who they've faced so often at this level. But yeah, it's that fell apart for them too. It wasn't just the 500 collapse and 500 score lines in those maps were definitely worse than Paravision's. That, don't get me wrong, but they both didn't get that ultimate goal. And Paravision, of course, failing to qualify for Pro League as well was another bit of pain for them. Nota's done well to find Oxygen, and teammates of Oxygen kind of glance over him and just say, "Oh, okay, you've died then. That's unfortunate." Through a smoke. And a good catch from Rainwaker as he pushes up toward top mid. Belchnot going for a peek toward long, recovers it back into a 4v4. Looking for one more is Rainwaker here. But he pulls that utility just as he creeps past the angle, and now James will block him off.
He's looking on it so far today. He's got some confidence. He's taken ability in the solo lurks. And perhaps that's another thing to recognize is that Shibs and Rainwaker are very similar players on T side. Very baity, very late round, very individual. And maybe there is a bit of role overlap and why Red Star needs to come into the team to have a little bit more of an aggressive rifler, someone that doesn't mind entering with the likes of Oxygen into this B bomb site. There's a lot of util going down. Nota's just trying to play anti-flash. I'm not really sure how Kickett's going to be able to support Nota here.
Yeah, they'll know those bullets are coming in from that coffin position, but the MAC-10s are able to leap their way through. Spellin tag down to 36, and actually goes to Red Star is the one going aggressive there toward Nota. And we're trying to catch him while he's in the midst of a reload or with low ammunition. And, well, he gets taken down, but still a 3v3, and Nota will stand his ground. Travis has done well to find Cirque, so it's only Spellin with that MAC-10. I mentioned probably should have gone down first, to be honest, but now he needs to clutch. James kind of gifts him one, and there's a slight chance because Travis has gone down as well. Glock is drawn. Oh my goodness, that is a delightful amount of damage for 500. That's the best case scenario if they were to lose the round. 4 kills and a plant.
You got to be satisfied with that one. For Paravision's sake, it gets a little bit messy. I mean, Kickett tries to run through that CT smoke in the hope and anticipation that players have maybe got util, maybe he's going to catch them repositioning, and it's just a bit of a lazy death. And then from that point onwards, it just gets more and more expensive. So it might be the first round for the CT side, but if you're Spellin and if you're the Bulgarians, you're thinking, mate, we could force the double eco straight away. We could force that reset. We can win the next follow-up, and then we just start putting massive amounts of rounds up on our T side.
Yeah, they know they're in the pound seats here. James going to be able to grab the AWP, and Nota's got the AK, obviously, but look at the money in the other three. It's, you'd imagine, FAMAS and Util, or MP9. So, yeah, best case scenario if you're to lose the round for 500. Rainwaker up to 7 kills already in this game. Quick pause as well for Paravision to make a decision on what they want to do. And they will go for the MP9 and Util. Full belts of that. Travis will choose a M4 because he's got util on his teammates. So at least they get 3 significant rifles. Actually chooses an A4 instead.
Yeah, 3B early round with Belchnot dropping util. So just trying to help out the Banana players, recycle the Top Banana retaking nades, he can go back over. I mean, there's been no aggressive press towards sort of brackets or apartments. There hasn't even been that much aggression in total here from 500. I think Inferno is certainly a lot slower in CS2's T-side than what it was in CSGO, especially towards Banana. I feel like we used to have a lot more contest, a lot more brawls, and now it's like, right, let's just keep ping-ponging util, and then the T's will just take it eventually with a mid-Banana smoke and a flashbang.
Yeah. Of course, it's just difficult for CTs with that Banana change as well, making it wider, not changing the incendiaries whatsoever.
It's insane that it's stayed like that for the incendiary. Like, I get
it,
they're trying to move it around and they're trying to make some changes, but surely with how it's come out, it's now like, oh no, let's go back. That's not quite the one.
Yeah. Current price with the old spread should be fair to me.
I'm with you, 100%.
They're going to be chaining that utility toward Top Banana here. Kicker obviously picking up everything he possibly can that's been dropped for him on the church wall. But Spellin's quite far up toward mid. That nade will come through, and actually, Belchnot chooses to peek with the HE, weirdly, and kind of gives up his life to Cirque. And leaves it all down to James on site and Travis in pit. It's a good opening for Travis, but James has to deliver as well. 23 seconds. Bomb is definitely going over toward this A side of the map, and Cirque will find Kicker. James doesn't get a thing done at all, and they know Travis is stuck in pit, and even Nota will get caught on the rotation. Cirque's had a great round here. 4 kills. Looking for the ace is Cirque. And Travis stuck in pit, 30 health, might just get taken down as well. We've seen 2 aces in this game already, and they're both from a 500 player.
And anytime you're a fan of 500, you cast them regularly, you'll know that in terms of sharpness and individual ability, they're one of the very best tier 2 teams there are. And when they're feeling it, when they're on, I think they can even upset tier 1 teams. I don't think it's happened as much recently than what it's happened in the previous iterations, but I'm looking at Rainwaker getting an ace. I'm now looking at Cirque. And I'm just wondering, fundamentally, are they going to be getting slowed down at any point on this T side? Are we just going to see individual ability outclassing Paravision?
Especially on this map, I think there's a good chance that could be the case, because as you rightly mentioned, it's not one that Paravision really go into at all. So, yeah, I think it's a good choice on the pick from 500 thus far. Could easily be proved wrong later on. But again, we're just walking B here. The right thing to do in a sort of round like this. They know Paravision are on probably a significant eco. Don't use too much utility, because using smokes in these sort of rounds just gives your opponent something to play around. So walk in as a group, have the trade potential, figure out what's clear, and that secures round number 4.
Yeah, both teams are in pretty good form over the last couple of weeks or so. I mean, look at Paravision. They're currently on a 4 best-of-3 winning streak. They've beaten Z10, Betrab, Sinners, Amcal. I look over at the side of 500. They've won 4 out of their past 5 best-of-3s on HLTV. And they've beaten Partisan, RUSHB, the new Passion UA roster, Sangle that was only a couple of days ago in the first round of the main Swiss. And these USPs are getting closer towards Cirque. So this AK might drop.
Cut. For some damage, but no, there's a easy assist coming through and a nice check of underpass as well from Cirque. All 5 alive. That's huge for that T economy.
I've got a funny story about Cirque, actually, Trav. I don't know if I've actually ever said this on broadcast, but way back in the day, I was working an event. I think it was called the Farm Skins Championship. It was something like 2017 period, right? And Cirque was playing in it. He was playing with Outlaws at the time. And he sent me a DM on Twitter literally asking for a code. Like, asking for one of those codes where you get, like, a free case or you get, like, a free skin. I'm like, brother, you're playing in the tournament. What is going on?
That's quite funny. My guy was desperate.
He was on it. He wanted it. That was rookie Cirque way back in the day.
Yeah. Outlaws is a great name for a couple of Bulgarians that have come through and still play to a decent level to this day. Kicker, counter utility, but nobody's in a tough position. Thankfully, he'll do really well against Oxygen, but Red Star's kind of just strafed Kicker out of the round there with a moving headshot somewhat. With Nota going down, Jane will try and get his pick, but he'll miss it. He'll be smoked off towards CT. A double smoke, in fact, as well. There's no HE to break it. It's a 3v4. Red Star tries to be cheeky, thinking James already off to save. I don't blame you, mate, but the round could still be on. I just don't think there's anyone close enough, really. Even though Travis gets that kill, how do they retake with no... Okay, they've just picked up a kit on Belchanok. There's a chance.
Yeah, there is a pretty good chance here. Out towards CT, it's a pretty easy fight there from Cirque. And James was posted on the line out there from Coffins, but nothing's presenting. No one's overpeaking. I'm sure for just a moment, Red Star goes, oh, have I thrown this? Have I just trolled the rounds when he goes aggro CT?
I mean, they're definitely not going for it now. There's no time, but it's... I feel like there was a chance to maybe give that one a bit more of an aggressive look, because they did have that kit on Belchanok. James, of course, then picked it up when Belchanok went down, but Cirque sure will go down to the bomb. It means that Spellin is the only one to stay alive, but it's not like it matters when they've got the money where they're at right now. And of course, James, after a quick save, quick sip of the coffee or the tea or whatever it is, that's business as usual for him.
I also remember thinking years back when we were casting Outlaws and Cirque for some of the first times in his career. I think it was Spellin, or it might have even been Cirque, saying we were saying the name incorrectly. I was like, really? How do you say
Cirque you?
No, they said it was like Syria. And I was like,
damn.
What? Like the country name. Like, that's how you say it phonetically. I was like, well, that's just how? Like, I have no idea. So I actually haven't even cross-referenced that. I should ask Ted maybe why that was said. But
yeah.
that was a thing way back. So if you look at some of the old broadcasts, I think some of the people used to say Syria rather than Cirque.
That's interesting. I think, yeah, definitely worth dropping a line to Ted on that one. There's one man that would know it would be him, other than Cirque himself, of course.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Great start so far, though. Paravision forced into these saves to try and get any form of buy into the round coming up next. And 500 in full control at the moment. That great win the other day against Passion UA in the Conquest of Prague to get them through to the LAN finals. Their second LAN appearance of the year after that one earlier in the year. Was it in Barcelona, if I remember correctly?
That's right, yeah, the Ice Challenge.
That's it. Looked okay there.
Oh, they're on it. They are just hitting every... Oh, yeah. Mate, the Inferno's done. Inferno's just over. We're not going to get... They're not even hitting A. It's just been banana takes consistently by 500.
Yeah, it's been nothing much else, honestly. Jane needs to live, and honestly, there's one man, it might be him. He's actually managed to stay alive as well, but he's in a very awkward position playing second over. He should just get leapt on, and he will get leapt on. Spellin will get the trade eventually, and James does his absolute damnedest there, but not allowed to do more than the two. There is a rotation around from Belchanok, but he's going to be re-smoked towards Coffin. That'll allow him to fall back away and save again. Right now, like, Paravision, you mentioned it, don't know how to deal with 500 on Banana. They're trying to play normal angles, they're trying to play off each other's contact, playing sandbags and then the corner of the cross, but nothing's working. Oxygen just double entries them this round, first 2 kills of the game for him, and that's kind of the round cooked from there, even though James tries something.
Well, I'm looking at how they're taking Banana, and I think they've got 2 ways that they can adapt. They can either take it completely, which is something we haven't seen yet, smoking deep, double incendiaries, HGs, take all the space away, or just retaking nades. Sit back, play defensive, give them top Banana, then throw in your half-wall smoke, throw in your incendiary towards car, and re-flash into the angle. I think at the moment, they're sort of in 2 phases where they're fighting for top Banana, but they're just getting overwhelmed, and... I mean, you have a look at the numbers, and you go, well, it's understandable why Belchstock and Travis aren't getting anything. Travis is the apps player, and Belchstock is the short player. And what, other than Rainwaker sometimes going boiler with a Mac 10, it's just been take Banana, go B, and that's it.
Yeah. Even on the ecos, right, they've been just slow walking Banana without much utility on a couple of occasions. So, let's see what they do on this one. They have just, again, taken it straight away. Let's see if they just go straight in as well here. Not they want to. There's a bit of counter-util, but everyone's here. But for that Rainwaker boiler position that you've mentioned, could get timing by this apps stack for Paravision. You got Belchanok on that off angle.
It's all timing, because for Paravision, they shouldn't really get aggressive, because they know that Rainwaker likes a passive lurk. So getting out here towards second mid, I don't think achieves anything. All you're going to do is create space and start stacking bodies up on B. You know that they're probably going to hit B anyway. So just try and see if you can slow the round down and catch Rainwaker, upgrade yourself into an AK. The problem is your B players don't really have much of a defensive, because Kickit, he tried to what, throw a HE, and then just kind of got slammed. And even Red Star. I don't know why he keeps going aggro CT through that smoke. He's just loving it at the moment.
Travis will finally manage to remove Rainwaker from the round, but again, B is taken. And there's really nothing that Paravision have been able to do about this so far. You mentioned actually at the beginning of the game.
I was going to ask Trav, do you have any memories of Red Star, like post maybe era, like when he was like, at his very high peak of the Fiends sort of lineup?
Well, obviously it's kind of been more up and down for him in his career, right? There was that doomed ITB stint as well for a little bit, most recently, which was obviously ended due to multiple reasons. But yeah, I think one of the main things that I would categorize Red Star's career for me would be potential that's kind of been unfulfilled, because I think he was that talented way back then, and you know that. Obviously, one thing we talk about a lot between us two is that Fiend roster that never made the major, never made a major at all, never gave Bulgarian Counter-Strike that appearance in the biggest stage of all. And I'm not saying that was the main thing that hurt his career, but you know, it's certainly contributed.
He's got to feel unlucky. I mean, even that 5W roster with like Thomas, Hahn, and Joel.
Oh God!
Like, on paper, that just looks unbelievable, and then you find out that the org just doesn't even exist. It's just the project's over. Didn't they win a title, like, immediately? I mean, I know Joel was on the team, but it was just the first time we saw them on HLTV. They just won instantly.
Yeah, they won something small, like, and yeah, immediately the news came out about that whole org being literally not existing. Yeah. Crazy.
And then you go to ITV, and then that happens too, and you're like, man, this is twice now in the space of what? A couple of years? Like, that actually is infuriating.
That's something for James. Funnily enough, the one time 500 go elsewhere that's not Banana is the time they lose an opening pick. So James holding that boiler position. Classic half of just go B until it fails, but they try A this time. And they're down 4v5. Got Apps control, but plenty of counter utility for Parry Vision still.
This has got to be where Spelling goes, oh man, we should have got B again. What have we done here? We've tried to lurk out to what seems to be an Apps pot. We've been picked off in the boiler sideline. We've then been re-smoked. And now we haven't even taken Banana, so we don't have many options but to start contacting, working something towards A. A little bit of noise being made there in the brackets. You've got James, who's reposed out to Library, and then Belchnock on this reverse default, and Travis sitting behind the car. So a very defensive setup on A.
James, ooh, that's a bit nervy. Spots one player crossing, but doesn't pull the trigger, and kind of caught mid-jump. He'll keep himself alive for now. They'll know Apps is a problem with Rainraker trying to creep his way out, but it could be awkward now. You've got a side player, you've got a pit player, but Cirque, he's wall-banged Belchnock out of the round. Travis has to deliver, and it's only 1.5. Bomb can go down with 10 seconds. 3v3. James was locked off by the smoke. This should be another 500 round.
Cirque is in such a good pose without an incendiary on the retake, because you could just basically sit there in ped, and you're not getting any pressure against you at all.
They are giving it a go because they kind of have to. At least giving it a look anyway. Like Kicker's just standing in the open trying to fight. Very obvious for Rainmaker. Actually gets the kill, but there's no kit here. I don't think there's one on the ground either, if I'm not mistaken. So they're just taking a bit too long. They're going to get the kill on Oxygen, but if Cirque just stays alive, I think there's a chance he has a chance of winning this one, but no. It's Nota to hold the defuse while the other two players deal with that pit position, and they're just going to scrape the defuse over the line. I mentioned the lack of kit. Goodness me, that was ridiculously close.
Yeah, that was way too close for comfort. And if that's what Paravision need to win a round, then I'm just not sold on this map being competitive, am I? If it was a bit cleaner, maybe a little bit more util, they've got plenty of time, I think, okay, maybe they can get themselves 4, potentially even 5 rounds, go completely undefeated in this first half. Just not sold at all. That was, I mean, Kick it on 22 points of health, winning out that fight against the pit player of Cirque. Even if he just loses that one duel, the round's just over. It's just done instantly.
Yeah, because of the bomb plant position as well, right? Because it's just so open, there's no smoke for it. So, it's kind of a nightmare. Again, sure, they're going to get the round on the board, but 500 might just go back to Old Faithful here. Play top banana, good counter flash, but Nota, oh, he checks his close right, but doesn't really commit to the duel on the close right. And gets caught when the vision returns of the other players. There's nothing's working for Paravision over toward B. Again, they're going to be pinned back here.
Individually, they're just getting farmed. They're having a real tough time against some of these aggro moves. And then for Kicker, I mean, he's got no util to block. He's got nothing to stall out the time against the exec. So for me, this might as well just be a save again. I don't see any point of even attempting this round.
Damn. Spellin will flash the church position and then actually get the bomb planted as he was in the midst of crossing. A little bit dangerous, but it's fine. It's a 5v4 and, well, this doesn't just characterize Inferno, but I think it characterizes Paravision's Inferno as well. Does not played it enough really recently to figure out where they stand on it. And saving the name of the game. Any James Time supporters right now will be loving life because there's been nearly all but 2 rounds pretty much.
But it's a really good veto from 500 to pick Inferno, because I look at their map pool and I go, Inferno and Mirage, they just love the most. Like, those 2 maps are what they pick frequently in best of 3s. We know that Paravision aren't a bad Mirage team. I know their win rate is low, but they get a lot of officials under their belt. They hold weight in a lot of those series. So to go into Inferno, which hardly gets played at all, where it's pretty good from 500 if we're comparing the 2, it just makes so much sense to go into this, to be brute forcing a lot of these, what I would say are banana fights, you know, try and keep it quite scrappy as such, make it awkward for the tactical depth. And I mean, even with the AWP, I can't even remember outside of James' pick in Boiler, when he's got AWP picks, it just feels like it's never coming.
Yeah, you got 2 over toward B right on that one round where Oxygen double entried them, but then 500 just said wait. Spellin leapt over towards second orange, got the kill from above James,
That's
and
right,
it was obviously a free round from there. So yeah, just nothing's really shown. Makes me wonder how much 500 going into this particular opening map studied Paravision's Inferno versus Bait in that Challenger League Grand Final. Because obviously Bait kind of farmed them, right? So, yeah, it feels like it's not a good map for Paravision at all at the moment. They try and flash their way down, but there's a counter flash from Cirque. That easily deals with Kicker. Full blind on that one. That's a great recovery kill to make it a 4v4. And we're going to be walking out Boiler. Again, Rainwaker in that position. But Belchnock will stop him on this occasion. There is a path through short, though. I'll give Cirque an opportunity to work toward Travis. Again, Travis in pit. There's a sight player of Belchnock as well. There's a bit of a crossfire to work with here, finally, for Paravision. And it should work out for a solid hold. It will. Finally, some team play on a CT position there, it feels like, for the Paravision boys.
Yeah, 500 will look at this first half and say, even if we give them a couple towards the end, 8 T-side rounds are really good for us. Because I look at where they sit right now with the majority of the maps in their pool. They've got a pretty good T-side of Anubis, which is expected. But if you compare every other map, Inferno is the highest in terms of round win percentage. So it's 57.8 in the last 3 months for them. So to get, what, an 8-3, 9-3, 8-4, mate, you'd be satisfied with that sort of level of performance.
Okay, Nota's kind of had enough. Last couple of rounds at the end of this first half, they have just started trying to charge their way down Banana to counter what 500 have put toward them. Maybe too little too late. But it gets Nota another opening pick. No, it's funny, actually, sorry to cut over you, I just wanted to say that Oxygen has got 2 kills this entire half, and that was him cracking open top Banana on that one round.
I mean, he's been... The thing is with Oxygen, right, it reminds me a little bit of when we cast Spirit Academy the other day with Kiyosuke. I feel like they just do send him so aggressively into map control, especially when we're looking at a sort of main and lurking out Aeon Mirage. They just sort of leave him, and then there's quite a lot of separation between him and the rest of the other guys. So you either get these games from Oxygen where he's just like hitting every single entry attempt, or he's just creating space and they're hoping to get a trade. I mean, this time around, because it was a bit more aggressive from Nota, you're not even in a position in which you can get a 1-for-1.
They want to flash through, though. Oh, and James missed his shot. Look how blind Nota is. It could fall apart again, and it has fallen apart again. Oh, they even get the opening kill on Oxygen this time around, but 500 just abusing this B bomb site. Cirque's even on top of first orange there, I believe, to manage to take Kicker through the corner of the smoke. There's no chance he gets away from that one. And Red Star, 16 XP. He's actually very pinned in here, but surely, even though if they take him down, Belchnock and Travis, 2v3. Both have a kit, both have a flash, but they're going to be re-smoked off as well. They're just going to ruin their plan ever further. What they can do now is try and use these 2 flashes to try and pop their way through, but they should be popping their way through into death. There goes Belchnock, and Travis just going for the kills here, to be honest, not even going for the round. He'll get found by Cirque. 90 rounds for 500. Bit of a masterclass on banana control there.
It was. And I mean, even Red Star picking up that AWP, sort of trying to get aggressive into construction, reminds me of how CSGO was for the Bulgarian scene. I mean, I have very fond memories of casting Fiend, especially on Mirage CT side. You'd have Red Star open con, you'd have Han open window, and just nobody else in Tier 2 would be doing that. We've always felt that Red Star has been a bit more of that hybrid player, not just from an AWPing to rifling standpoint, but in how he can fill the gaps in the majority of his teams. Paravision just couldn't really contest, and I'm looking at the second half now thinking, well, who's even going to be an impactful T-side body? Are we looking at Belchnock? Are we looking at Nota? I don't think anyone is really going to put up much here.
I think if there's one man, I'd say it would be Nota. Belchnock's actually on the same pattern that we saw yesterday against Amcal. He had a very slow opening map of Mirage. Paravision kind of didn't get going until map 2 and 3, where they kind of just ran them over, as we thought would be the expected result. But the expected result in this series is for 500 to take Inferno and for Paravision to take Dust 2, right? And to find ourselves on a third. So far it is going that way.
A good little setup to go aggro. You've got, what, a single smoke from Moto for James, single flash. They're just going to apps pop. Oxygen might be able to get one.
Gets the one. Actually falls back on a great timing because it's forcing Travis to clear out the site. And, well, if there's anything that kind of tells you how this game's been going, it's that T-pistol from Paravision. Oxygen with 4 kills from 2 to 6. And that last one was a gorgeous clean tap. Paravision just completely stagnant and static.
Man, it looked like Oxygen was just still getting flashed there by the likes of Giga, the in real life flashbang. But no, he's done all right. He's hit a nasty shot on that last player towards short too. Everyone is just having what feels like highlight montage moments in this first half and second half. I mean, how many times have we seen 2 aces and a 4K in basically, what, the first 13 rounds of a map? That just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I think it was one I was doing the other day where we had like 2 aces in a single map, and it kind of commented on how rare that was, but it was 1 for each team, right? This is 2 for 500. 1 for Rainwaker on the opening pistol of the game, which actually, funnily enough, right, that set the tone. That pistol clutch gave Paravision much less to work with, no economy really for the entire half as a whole. And the second pistol round kind of kept that tone, funnily enough. Red Star will deal with James. And that's 511 to 3. Cirque's ace as well when Paravision will try and desperately to hold the A bomb site. And Cirque just picked them off one by one pretty much. Floating around A. Up to 15 and 4 for Cirque.
Has he even bought an AWP? Like, I feel like he's always been getting it off of James in that first half. It was always the T side would just run an AK. He's like, oh, James got an AWP. Right, we'll go and pick that up. And now we get into the second half. He's not even going to have time. They're going to run out of rounds before he gets the big green.
Or will it even matter? Look at this buy for Paravision here. Deagle on Travis. Nota, Tech 9. Got 2 Galils. Just throwing caution to the wind at the end of Inferno, knowing it's just not going to be their day. Kind of already maybe putting some focus on map 2.
You got a little special connection with Travis, Trav?
I do, and it's sad because he sucks at the moment, and maybe I'll never get another Travis sticker again. But he's done his job.
Yeah.
He's done his job for me on Amcal. He got me a Travis sticker. His name's Alexander. Still don't know why he's called himself Travis. I'll find out one day, I promise you. But...
I didn't even know that. You would have expected his first name to be Travis.
I know, right? Bless him. God bless him for that decision anyway. Lovely sticker.
Yeah.
Oxygen will hold the line with 2. Now Kicker, he's already in CT, by the way. So that's actually get 1 back towards Rainwaker. Okay. That's a dig on Red Star. But Spellin is being an absolute nuisance right now. 22 seconds. He's not shown his hand, I don't think, at all. And Paravision, if they plant on B, well, they could be about to get a rude awakening here. Travis is going to half clear the site, but not properly. Oh, Spellin's going to ruin their day. He's going to ruin their day. Oh, as if it wasn't starting rough already. It never rains, but it pours for Paravision. James has to save the Galil. Might get taken down after time as well. They've seen him. They've fragged him. $100 in James' bank. Oh, dearie me.
And I do look at Dust 2, still with a lot of positivity for Paravision with how they play fundamentally. I think when I've casted 500, they've tactically looked quite weak on that map. My issue is that Dust 2 can still be won off a lot of individual X Factor and can still be won by kind of brawling certain areas of the map. And I'm just looking at the numbers being posted from Paravision, and I just have not seen any excellence from even like a mid-round, a late round, a multi-frag. It just hasn't approached in this first map at all.
Yeah, and they're going to need a bit of a mental reset for Dust 2, despite how good they are on the map. Maybe that will just help them out. Just have a little bit of a break and say, okay, let's just forget Inferno ever happened, because we weren't even in the game. It may as well have never happened. We may as well have not even been in the server. So let's focus on Dust 2. Spellin, though, will only get a dink on Nota this time around. Bit of a vaguely more lazy peak from Spellin there. That's kind of the lackadaisical nature of being up 12 to 3, but Red Star will finish off that kill. And there'll be an incendiary that will, I don't think, get into the exact right place. James can hop through. Of course, he's got the M4 picked up, but as he had $100, no armor to work with. He'll be in task with the bomb plant, but guess what's coming? There is a Cirque HE. I'm going to use it now because that smoke has faded, and James wasn't ready for Red Star playing in that smoke. So, this retake, they've got a 4v3. They've got Kicker on 45 health. Only a Tech 9 on Travis, like we've said. kits available, plenty of retake utility, still a couple of HEs. Let's see if they can finish it off. A double pick towards CT is what Paravision had to do, and Belchenok will find that frag on Oxygen, but guess what they're waiting for? They're waiting for the Rainwaker banana flank. Oh, he could have taken Kicker as well. Kicker was 1 bullet from death, but he holds the line on toward Pool. And actually, they'll be able to frag everyone in the end on 500. So I have no idea how they got out of that one, but they have.
That backstab just took forever. I mean, I know Rainwaker's expecting a lurk, and he's waiting to see if someone like Travis is going to be out there in the apartments, cutting from second mid. It just, I don't know, almost felt like that they were just sort of half-hearted at the retake. They're just waiting so long for the banana player to come. And there could have been a buy on the table, but they realized that it would have been a bit of a weak gun round. So let's just eco, we'll buy down lightly. Don't really need any expense at all. And let's just get into the next gun round and let's close this game out quickly.
Yeah, I like the decision making there for 500. They need to push the boat out with their money. Especially on Inferno when you want to prioritize all the util possible. Somehow Paravision get out. So let's keep count. That's one instance of Trav's Law today already. Just saying. I told you, I'm onto it, dude. I'm onto it.
I'm pretty sure you went 3 from 3 in the last show. So
listen, like I jest, right? Because it's me being silly.
No, I'm
Trav's
sold
Law.
on it. No,
but like,
you don't need to say any more, Trav. I'm sold.
It's obviously a mental thing, right? Like, it's just okay, we've got to 12, it's okay. It's obviously just like a subconscious relaxation of getting to within 1 round of victory.
I'd like to be able to get something like Nero, like get on HLTV, do like a little deep dive, get a bit of data mining going, and let's just get 10 years worth of CS:GO, CS2, and let's just find the percentage. Let's just see what it is.
I do hope it's above 50. I'm convinced.
Yeah,
of it.
can you imagine it comes out it's like 10% of the time? It's only been a recent thing.
Yeah.
It's all the placebo. It's like...
I've got to say, I don't remember noticing it as much casting CS:GO compared to CS2.
Okay,
so
you reckon?
maybe that's like recent confirmation bias. Who knows?
So that you wouldn't, if you're going to base it off of mental, then it shouldn't really matter if it was MR12 or MR15.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Well, I think Paravision would be hoping it's MR12 here because I think they want this map kind of done with. They want to focus on D2. 500. We'll get the opening pick with Red Star. Of course, not like it's as you said, it's a stand-in that will most likely turn into an official signing at some point, but it's not like it's a stand-in where the player has no synergy with his teammates, right? So much knowledge and expertise and experience of playing with these guys from his country.
It did make me laugh when I saw the post, and it's like, oh yeah, he's a stand-in. I'm like, come on, seriously? Like, why are we getting this? He's not a stand-in, is he? It's as obvious it can get. But look, I mean, he played on 500 in the past. He's played on basically all of these guys as ex-teammates, and that's what you get when you come from a small local scene, don't you? You're always going to mix and match at some point with one another.
Spellin has been tagged down to 40. So if Paravision have a good timing here, they could actually still extend this game. This B-take is in significant progress. That Incendiary, I don't think will go exactly where it was wanted, but in comes Rainwaker! Oh, pushing that CT smoke. Nothing much you can do. You'll even get helped out by Red Star for that final kill. And honestly, that was a very, very poor Inferno from Paravision. Definitely a map they really need to work on. We've seen them stroll against Bait in that Challenger League Grand Final, and now today against 500. It's one they don't play that much, and maybe that's for a good reason.
Yeah, I think you'd rather be watching Paint Dry than watching Paravision on map 1. I mean, that was just nothing. And for 500, it was a bit of entertainment, wasn't it? We got a couple of aces, we got some good individual ability, but we saw no contest. We just saw no ability to be able to tap towards those banana pegs, to be able to even fight back individually, to be able to give us a little bit of a game. So you're hoping that Dust 2 delivers a hell of a lot more, because I'm looking at those numbers. I mean, you've got guys on single digits, and this went 18 rounds. This did go on for a little bit at least.
It's a painful scoreboard. If you are a supporter of Jame and Paravision, just close your eyes or just close your left eye and keep your right eye open on the 500 scoreboard, because honestly, that was a great performance from them across the board. Everyone did their job. Everyone showed up when necessary. As you said, Rainwaker, pistol ace. Oxygen, second half pistol 4K. Cirque, gun round ace. So 16-6 for Cirque. He was in full control of Inferno.
Good sign moving forward, because I think Cirque had a really good comeback map on Anubis versus Sangle a couple of days ago. He's now got Dust 2 coming up. Pretty good map, CT side AWPing, working mid doors, working on that sort of car sight line, looking towards elbow. I'd like to see if Cirque could really try and outclass the likes of Jame in this map. So what we're going to do is head towards a short little break and at least get an idea on, are we going to get a 2-0? Are we going to go to a third map and decider?
She said she loves you.
But she can't love me.
But I love you.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1xBet. On to the next one.
YaLLa Compass 2025 season.
If anyone peeks through, they're both dead. They're both dead in the smoke. Bomb drops, popped up behind it at the edge of. Away with a kill, but quick trade back from Ariel. Still through the
YaLLa Compass 2024 champions.
YaLLa, let's go!
Parivision not at the races at all on Inferno. They need to try and find a bounce back on their best map. Surely they'll be able to do that on Dust 2, Dweg.
You'd certainly imagine so. I mean, the track record is impeccable for their last 3 months. 24 wins, 6 losses. The majority of them just aren't even competitive. And I look at 500 and I think, okay, let's be realistic. What are the chances of an upset? The only 2 wins they've had on this map recently has been an overtime versus Monty and a full rounds in regulation versus 9 Pandas that was basically over 2 months ago. So I'm sold that we're going 3. I think it could be a bit competitive, but Parivision should be able to take this and send us to that decider.
Yeah, it could be a bit competitive purely off of what we've already seen in the series, right? I mean, if Parivision's individual form, even on a map that they're so good on, is a little bit below par, doesn't mean, or it does mean that 500's stars can step up, who we saw step up on Inferno, right? So I'll have to see if that changes anything. But as you say, like, it's one of the more, honestly, of all the games I've covered, which has been quite a lot over the last, like, 2 weeks or so, it's like one of the more skewed win rates between 2 teams on a singular map. This is probably the biggest disparity I've seen in a while, right? 80% to 29, 30 played to only 7 played. That's bigger than you usually see it.
And for 500, you'd kind of expect with the players that they have for them to be a pretty good Dust 2 team. But Bulgarians have always kind of struggled on this map. Even the different iterations of 500 and Skate, even thinking back to Fiend, it was never a map that they were comfortable on. And I guess it's now, especially in CS2, it's just not as brawly as it used to be. It's so slow on the T side. You're sort of taking short, you're then consistently putting the mid smoke up, you're working these odd timings here or there. But there's just no quick accelerated moves. And I think especially for Oxygen on the T side, you kind of want him to be able to create a little bit of spark, like be able to work openers, drive in space, allow teams to sort of roll over. But I just feel with how the map plays out, it's just not a good fit for 500 at all. So I don't think we're going to get too much from them. I think that they're going to be really locked in for the final map decider. And for Parivision, I mean, it's just a wake-up call after map 1. I mean, they were really poor. They didn't really show us anything there on Inferno.
Yeah, and that's why they'll be especially delighted it's Dust 2 that they've got coming up next, right? I mean, I'm just looking at it now. I kind of ran you through a little bit already, some of the results that they've had on it recently, some of those really good ones as well, like the ones against OG and ENCE, for example, where they only lost 7 rounds between the 2 of them. But it's, you know, it's like 16 played and only 2 losses, and overall 24 out of 30. That's one of the best sort of single map performances for a team in Tier 2 I feel like that exists. You look at Bait on Mirage, but they've had kind of up and down results lately as well. Parivision actually beat them, obviously, on Mirage in that Challenger League Grand Final, right? So there's not many streaks and sort of strong maps for a singular team that are as good as this, really. I mean, you got Ecstatic on Train as another good example, but they're few and far between to this extent.
And you'd almost expect for Parivision, not only do they want to try and bounce back from the failure of the MRQ, the failure of the Pro League run in ECL, they just want to start finding some stability in Tier 2, constantly being a threat, getting into playoffs, getting into these deeper tournament runs, because I kind of look at where they sit, and I think people certainly know that they can be a top-end Tier 2 team, but then when you put performances like that up on Inferno, it does just all put it into judgment, doesn't it? I mean, how much do we believe in Kickett's calling? Can he actually take this team to another level? Can he actually make them a proper threat in every tournament in Tier 2? Or is it just going to be a bit of a one-hit wonder, where we know that they can win titles, but we might have to wait a few months here or there to actually be able to see it?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to know whether I'm sold on Kicker in game leading, right? Because the one tournament which they really needed him to not just call well in and frag well in, he did neither really in that MRQ, right? So I think he had a really rough performance when it came to his individual level. I think he ended like 0.6 off across the event, if I remember correctly. I can't remember. Maybe that's a bit harsh on him, but I had to double check that one. But yeah, like that was really the biggest test for him. I'm convinced that Jame, as an IGL for most of his career, surely is like the secondary caller and provides ideas. But like, if Kicker is not providing enough ideas and is maybe not that leader, if that makes any sense to you at all, in this situation on the team, you would question, well, Travis is underperforming. Is Kicker underperforming? There are so many options out there in CIS, it feels like at this point. We could get an upgrade from somewhere. We could grab one of these players that could actually push us to that next level once and for all. So there are definitely things for this team to think about, because their big plan for this year would be to qualify for one of these big lands, a Pro League or a Major, something like that. They only played in these smaller lands, and even they haven't gone too well. So I really wonder what their future plans look like with the team.
For Rainwaker, I think all eyes are on him to see, are you going to ace again? Could it be possible in which he gets back-to-back round 1 aces?
Oh, Nota, he'll push down, deal with Red Star. And now Rainwaker is in position. Oh, I don't think he knows that Nota is close right, though. If he pushes forward, he should be a dead man walking. Yes, he gets forced into the open. Nothing on this occasion. Kickert will take that comfortably. Belch not trying to force his way out long, but Jiggle peeks Spellin and realises there's no point really facing him just straight up. And they'll know he's there, because it's Cirque, the one that's gone down, and surely he'll get pinched, but actually, Belch not kind of left long to try and cut him off from that position. There's 3 players on the bomb site to try and deal with Spellin, though, and eventually, Jane with the P250 will. It's all down to Oxygen, and he is very disconnected from the action.
Red Star's only played 2 Dust 2 officials since coming back into 500, and you look at the ratings overall for the players, it's a smaller sample size because it's one of the least played maps in the pool for them, and it is 2 wins and 5 losses in the last 3 months. But Cirque is the only one that's posting an average rating of over 1. Everyone else is sort of struggling. Rainwaker's at 0.96. Spellin's down at 0.64. Oxygen is at 0.97. So you sort of wonder who's going to be the more impactful entities on that CT line. I think Rainwaker is certainly getting a lot better positions than what he was on the previous 500 iteration. I remember when he was there a couple of years ago, that he was sort of the guy that was given the less active roles, whereas now it feels like they're trying to get him in those more rotator positions. They're trying to get him involved in a lot more utility support of them doing it for him. I mean, as an example, he plays Connor Mirage now. So that might be something that only aids 500 getting stronger towards the middle section of the year, is finally having like a proper powerful position and a powerful player being in those spots.
So we'll play patiently to wait for those HEs coming in through long. Spellin, 5-7, and I know that's on the corner, but there's going to be flash assist coming through. Rainwaker, you found 3. How on earth have you done that? That's wild. And this could be an unlikely force by win coming through for 500 here. Nota needs another kill. Oh my goodness, Red Star does not expect him to be so far up. And Nota, even with barely any bullets left, is just going for straight up peaks towards CT here. This is very bold. And bold is usually cast to speak for over-aggressive. Eventually he'll be allowed to get across, but 2v3.
Oxygen hasn't even shown that he's got a FAMAS. I mean, that's the best weapon out of what the CTs have had. Out towards long, Nota gets 1. They need that quick trade back from the FAMAS. Oxygen is the only way that this round is winnable for 500.
Yeah, Red Star 11 from just not expecting Nota to be up so far. Oxygen has tried to time his push out long, but here's the check from Nota. Okay. Nota's got his 3, but Travis has to win a 1v2 now, and time is ticking down. He'll know it's quite unlikely for 500 to have a defuse kit in a round like this, so he's crept in toward Gandalf. It's a good position to play from, and they're already out of time, I think. Yeah, they know it. There's the first kill. Travis knows he's won the round here, and it's going to be an easy kill on Oxygen to finish it off. So He will spare the Paravision blushes, will Travis there. Well played.
Yeah, shame for Rainmaker, though. With so much impact out of
Yeah.
what is a little bit of a bait and switch, but Spellin doesn't even help him massively because he just goes down too quickly to the player at the black of the blue bin. Upgrades can come from 500, but that round probably should have been stolen from the 3v2 man-up situation. I think Red Star was just kind of caught a bit tunnel-visioned on just how quickly they could get up long when he tried to jiggle from spawn.
One of the things that goes without saying when you have a team like Paravision who have just got an insane record on a singular map, right? You think, okay, well, surely the stats are good. Well, they are. One of the main ones, oh, you know what? I'll come back to it because it's happening again. It's happening again. 500 won't let me get there. Won't let me get my point out. They've managed to put the Deagles in play towards short. Look at the damage they're doing. Goodness gracious. Spellin, he's got one of his own. He's got... he's actually thinking to find a gun. There we go. It's a little on Xbox there. So 1v2. Kicker 10 HP. Beltanock 24. He's going to go for the AK and go all the way around long. But kitless, Paravision still could find a way to get this one over the line.
Oh, you can't tell me that 500 are going to troll this again. I mean, this is back-to-back rounds that they should be winning. And now I'm thinking, Spellin without a kit, even with the low HP. Oh my god! Oh, he does have it in the end. He might as well just save now. And there's no point going for it. 1 HP!
1 versus 10. He's not here in time. He's just looking to see if Kicker offers himself up for no reason and then just walk away through CT. Kicker now hears
what
him.
A whiff.
That's crazy from 500. Again, so much presence and battling towards short. Just giving a chance for their teammates to rotate in and just close around. But it's been an absolute squeak for Paravision in these last two.
It might have to be one of those rounds that you watch back and sort of go through the demo on each POV. There's just a little bit too much overfighting from 500. I mean, even though the players were very low, they had a serious man up, and within a split second, it just sort of starts disappearing. And Paravision will know they're being tested in these first few rounds, but frustration's got to be high for the Bulgarians, knowing that it's still 0-3. I mean, you might be getting close towards that double eco reset, but you needed to take your chances earlier in this map, especially against a team like Paravision.
Yeah, losing the economy duel early game is always frustrating. Let's see if they can wrestle it back now. They'll be very happy with the damage they've done to Paravision to keep them honest, but haven't been able to complete any of these low investment wins. That'll be the one thing that'll be in their mind, though. They'll be very aware that it's been too close for Paravision. So, plenty of opportunity to just reset the money back down to that double eco position. Yeah, they've walked their way out mid here, Paravision. They've got 3 players in that position, actually, with Travis playing in tons. Flash will come in. Oh, no, there's at least one on that portion of the map. There's a CT player, but they're going to ignore him. And they're going to try and go for this B split. It's being watched by Red Star, but in comes Rainmaker again with a multi. Jame will find that trade, but Travis looking for one more on site. Oh my word, look at the damage done. They didn't gauge that Red Star was still here. And Jame will wallbang him through the corner of window. Actually quite fast on the rotation here, though. Jame trying to strafe back away into a better after-plant position. Now the bomb is down. It's awkward for them. They're both kind of stuck on big box. Look how messy this hold is for Paravision. It gives a chance to Spellin. There's one, and he knows that Jame is pinned. He's got a Galil on the floor to switch to, and that is Jame's decision. Spellin waiting to see if Jame makes a move, but Jame will not budge. Sound cue's being made. Jiggle back and forth. Oh my word, Spellin's out of bullets. It has to be the Deagle, and Jame stands tall. How are Paravision winning these last few rounds?
I actually have no idea how that's just been fumbled. That, first off, should have just been instant denial. As soon as the aggressive CT smoke is thrown and the CT's got on the front side of it, and the crossfire's locked on B, there shouldn't even be a post plant. There shouldn't even be a bomb going down, let alone a clutch situation coming in. Oh, Spellin will be infuriated at himself there, because that's now 2 rounds in a row in which he's really fumbled easy kills. I mean, he's in, what, 100 HP versus low, and then he somehow gets on 1. He just somehow gets on red HP again. Oh boy. Paravision can count their lucky stars right now. And in the games that I've casted with Jay recently about 500, what I do notice in a lot of their performances is the duo of Red Star and Rainwaker taking over games, just having a huge amount of impact, a serious amount of kills. And I'm looking at how they're performing on Dust 2 on sort of this mid and B action, and I'm thinking they're a threat, but they're not a threat to round victories at the moment.
Well, Paravision will be thinking about these last 3 rounds and thinking they're... Okay, well, we won them, but we're living a bit of a charmed life right now. I'm not sure this is going to be working out too well if we keep cutting them this closely, but we've got a good opening in this one, thanks to the Jame opening pick on the cross. Good old-fashioned D2. Already oxygen out of the round.
We saw how strong Paravision's run was in the ECL playoffs and how frequently they were picking it. They picked it against Na'Vi Jr., picked it against Z10, Betra, and then even in that grand final, map number 1 against Bait, Dust 2 comes straight in, and it's a really clinical 10-2 T-side half. So at 4-0 up, they've got to look at a goal and an expectation of having a strong lead moving into the second. Notice with the CT smoke, a bit more of an aggressive Red Star than what we've seen previously.
He's fully blinded on that angle. That's going to be awkward for him. Surely will go down without a kill here. They've been actually giving him a reload. That's surprising. He'll try and force his way out now, but it's always going to be running into Nota's AK. So it's going to be more of a comfortable one for Paravision, finally. Maybe a chance to build up some economy once and for all here. 500 need an answer back from Cirque, but Jame was ready. Timing looked like it could favour Cirque for a second, but now Spellman has a FAMAS, and he's stuck in Spawn with no way out.
It's almost as if the first few rounds of this map had huge potential to force that reset, to get themselves down on the double eco, and now that's just been wasted, hasn't it? You've got into another gun round where you haven't got a single kill, so all of that pressure on the economy line just disappears. And now for 500, I know that they can be a bit of a tilting team. You can see it on the player cams. You can see it in some of the performances. I think emotions are going to run high with how competitive the start has been to Dust 2, but how incompetitive the scoreline has been.
Yeah, we saw them chuck in a pause right before the start of this round. Trying to collect their thoughts again, because they've been given nothing, really. Well, they've taken nothing that's been given to them, I should say.
And you just feel as if the 2-0 is just done. It's just not going to happen. If you were able to reset, get one of those clutches, maybe it's on, but 0-5 going into 0-6, I don't have belief from that kind of score.
No. And we're kind of seeing some of the reasons why 500 have got a really poor record on the map as well, right? If you just look at their win rate, I know it kind of, as I was going to mention earlier, goes along with the win rate of the map overall, but 36% win percent on their CT side. Look at Paravision, it's 52. Look at their T-side win percent for 500. It's 52. That's fine. It's, T-sided meta. That's understandably just above average. Paravision, 65.9. That's how good they are on the map. They dominate T-sides, and we're adding to that percentage right here.
I find it quite entertaining to see how long these organizations have been going for, but how different some of the lineups have looked in certain iterations. Because the last time that 500 played Paravision on HLTV, the Bulgarians still had Denny, Ships, and Grasshog, who was kind of playing and then coaching and then went back to playing. And then the Paravision roster back then would have had Jerry on the lineup, would have had Patsy, would have had Artfrost. And I think you could quite easily look at the previous iterations of Paravision and say that they at times may have looked stronger than what they are now. But yet, I don't know, for whatever reason, those Jerry lineups with all the ex-Spirit players just couldn't do anything. They looked crap in Tier 2.
I know, mate, and that's one of the things that makes me sad, right? Because that roster pretty much ruined Jerry's stock. Like, he's never come back since then. He's literally never had an opportunity again. And he was so highly rated for all his good work on Forza for so many years. I think he was on that Forza team for like 7 years, if I remember correctly.
I mean, what even about Nickelback? He's just disappeared. It's like, where are all these top players that were highly scouted in-game leaders over the last couple of years in the CIS scene? They've just disappeared. They've just gone into the abyss.
Yeah. Makes you wonder if maybe they'll come back at some point because one of these orgs remembers, oh yeah, they exist. They haven't been given a chance in a while. We need to try them again. But yeah, I mean, one of the 500 rosters I remember as well. As one was like, is it Nikki and Patrick?
Yeah, Nikki Doctor, yeah.
And yeah, that one was, I think it played one. Did it play one of the Elisa lands? I think it did, right?
Yeah, they got to the stage at one of them. There was a bit of a weird iteration because Nikki had not played at a top level in a really long time. And then even Patrick was kind of the same. He was always in the lower level Bulgarian teams than the rest of the boys. So when that lineup forms, I thought, geez, that's a bit weird that Patrick's on here. Nikki Doctor I could understand because there's very few in-game leaders nowadays. I mean, you used to have Spy Leader, you used to have Bubble. Now you've really only got Spellin. I mean, Ships was even in-game leading this team recently because they just don't have IGLs.
Yeah, that is true. That was a crazy choice of in-game leader for a little while. Red Star, can he finally help give 500 their first round on D2? It's going very well so far. It's a great hold. 5-7 pulled out, but Travis will take that kill as well. Rainmaker answers back to keep it in a 2v2, but we've got Jame picking up the bomb. Moving forward to get it down. Travis to support. They'll know exactly where that bomb is being planted. Cirque might want to give it a look, but just stay stock solid for now. Hoping Travis would go for a peek while that plant was coming through. But now, with the patience being shown here for 500, it's allowing Paravision to get into better after plant positions. It's allowing James to quick back away. I think they're being too patient here. They're just trying to walk through door, and that's just never going to work. Rainmaker will go down, so it's going to go and save. And it's weird, isn't it? For once, we're having a game at this level that is going exactly as we thought it would when it comes to the map picks.
I think the strangest part is this just is not a 0-7 map of Dust 2. This is maybe a 3-4, maybe a 5-2 if the economy got reset or whatever. Like, you can obviously think about it in the fantasy, but this has been a really competitive Dust 2. And yet they just have not been able to score a single round in the first half. I mean, Red Star is the solo B player, rotates are fairly slow. He's got 2 kills. He's stayed alive. He's even pulled the 5-7 out for a bit of extra damage, and they're still not converting that gun round.
Yeah, 500 are going to be having nightmares about round 2, 3, and 4. That could have just changed the game entirely and given them something to work with going into half number 2. But as it is, as you say, one of the more competitive 7-0s I remember in recent history.
Yeah, I can't think of the last time.
Big stop for Cirque. The D-Law needs to deliver, but he'll drop off of it. They're going to reboost. They're trying to. But he's taking his pot shot. He'll fall back away, knowing there's a risk of getting peaked from that headshot angle on Xbox.
Really taking long. Oh, good entry from Nota. Second player. Oh,
No.
Baymaker! Oh, you feel for him. That should be an easy kill. Spellin somehow got 2. What is happening right now? The bomb's being dropped. Red Star's got a kill on the short player. And now James knows at least where Red Star is and has to expect the Oxygen's the B player in this round.
Choose to go for the smoke to cross. Has got a little bit of time with Travis coming up through short, and now they can try and fake him out. They've got Red Star pinned in that get-off position, and surely the Molotov will spread, and it will. James classically knowing what to do best there. They damage the Tech 9, and I think they've seen Oxygen trying to make his way through the smoke. They've tagged it down to 8. Again, it's around for 500, which they had a conversation in. But Paravision looking to shut them up. He's seen him. He's seen Travis on elbow. 8 HP versus 98 though. Surely Travis could just like chuck this nade in the air somewhere and it'd probably catch Oxygen with enough damage to remove him from the round. Go for a swing now. Well, that's pretty dangerous, but he knows he's got the mass health advantage. Survives it on 54. Paravision 8-0. Another round in which 500 had an advantage that they can't convert.
It's twice now that Travis has clutched in basically the same position on the A bomb side. Oh, 500. I mean, it's mental to think that you've got tier 1 players on this Paravision side. You've got Jame and Kickit that have won a major, and yet Spellin still has more maps on HLTV than both of them do. But yet, the career paths are just so different, aren't they? I mean, Spellin's never even seen tier 1. He's never even been in the conversation of a team that can compete at that level.
Yeah, which is why, like, 500's appearances at some of these LANs, right? We know LANs give more VRS points than online events. That's going to be huge for them if they can get a win. Or even a BO3 win, let alone a tournament win. Give them some help for the future, maybe get some more invites. We'll see. Maybe play some tier 1 events one day in his career. That's his goal for sure. Oh my god, Nota. Oh my god, Nota. I know it's a half-buy-ish. There is some more investments down from Spellin, for example, but Nota has been owning them coming through short. Loving those entries. Mentioned he's the main one to watch, coming from RUSHB, then Amcal, being picked up by Paravision. He's definitely one that I could see being a player for like a VP in the future.
Oh, don't say that. He's going to hate that. He's going to be like, no, my career's going to be destroyed.
Well, in current form, you might not be wrong.
He'll be like, oh, no, I'd have to work with electronic. Oh, it's just going to be bottom of the board. Man. That's where the career just disappears as soon as you get the call up to VP.
Feels bad, man.
What's going on with these series that we're getting as well, Trav? I feel like a couple of days ago, we were getting a bit of a taste of what could potentially be a banger of a series. And then it's just like a bit average, a bit flat. And then we come into today, we just get, what, a 9-3 half where Paravision cannot adapt to just aggro banana takes. And then we come into Dust 2, and to be fair, the first few rounds are fairly close, and then it's just not competitive. It's just a landslide from that point onwards.
Yeah, very exciting 2, 3, and 4, as I said, but everything since then have pretty much been Paravision just building up their money bit by bit. Travis is on 14k. That just tells you all you need to know. Belchanok's 1-5. My guy hasn't had to do a single thing.
He's just been the long lurker. He's just been like, yeah, I'm holding Longhouse. They're not pushing. That's basically what's happening.
It's a shame, really, isn't it? Because, like I mentioned, and I really don't think I'm wrong that Belchanok's one of the most underrated players in Tier 2. I think he's an incredible talent. He's put up insane numbers for this roster in recent times, but today, obviously a bit absent on map 1 because there they all were. On map 2, he's not doing a single thing. So his KD at the end of this series is going to be quite amusing, I think, if the Paravision end up winning. Red Star tries to fight his way out. Does manage to get himself 1, but Travis checks for the oxygen push. And that's 2 for him. An important game for Travis's confidence, I feel, because, as I mentioned, his rating has kind of plummeted as well recently. Is Belchanok finally going to get a kill? He is. Let's go.
Yeah, start sending that bomb into B. Cirque just to hold on to the AWP. I mean, he can attempt to go for it because you are 0-9 down. The issue is how likely is winning a 1v2 clutch. I mean, James not even run the bomb into B. He's just waiting on the angle, waiting for the rotation. 10-0.
Wow.
And it's funny that you kind of mention Belchanok as like an underrated player because I've always said that Forrester is a really underrated rifler. I think for a bit more of a role player, someone that doesn't play star spots, great intuition, really good game sense, great in multi-frags, late round situations. But he's just sitting on the Amcal bench. And I'm like, how is that guy not even on a team?
I completely agree with you, right? I mean, I feel like buyouts are just something that teams are so opposed to doing. I mean, look at Artfrost, right? Like, he's a little stand-in peer with Amcal, but he's still technically on the Paravision bench, if I'm not mistaken, right? No one wants to buy him out, even if he's got the talent. And even that's not working for Spellin and for 500, right? They flash into Longhouse, absolutely perfect flash. Belchanok still gets the kill while full blind.
Well, look at Simple. I mean, no one wants to buy him out in RV.
Yeah, well, it's all loans, isn't it? That's kind of the way they have to go. I
don't mind that. I respect it. I mean, it's very big in football to have loans. It's only been a new thing. I know in South America it's quite big in CS for loans, but in Europe and CIS, it's only felt like a recent thing over the last couple of years than what we had previously.
That's one of the main things with Furia, right? Like, that's why they've had to go to Molodoi and Yakindar, because all the buyouts in South America are so insane. And guess what? It's bloody well working as well. Like, Molodoi's looking insane at his first ever big event. So it's actually crazy how that's improved Furia immediately.
Yeah, that is nuts. I still can't wrap my head around that.
No, it is crazy. You know, there's a part of me that just wants Furia to be a full Brazilian team, to be the main org for the country, to really like have a chance at winning big events. But yeah, if they have to do it with 2 international players, it will. Fair enough, but it'll almost feel worse. I feel like for Brazil.
What's going on here? They're trying to go short to A with a late CT wrap. I mean, they should be able to hear the rotation from Red Star. Unfortunately, Kick just gets denied straight away, and Circus being mollied. He just has to go 1-for-1 here.
Will manage to deal with Nota. So, finally another chance, but none have been working so far. James knows there's a rotation coming in through mid. AWP is ready. Travis has found his kill on Rainwaker. James will miss the flick, but now 500 know where both these two players are. But Oxygen just runs his way in, and then Travis is ready for the Red Star peak on the new box. Oh my word. Another advantage, another Paravision recovery.
What is actually going on with Travis in these post plants? He seems unbelievable. He's just hitting every shot required. He's not overpeaking. He's somehow not dying. For a guy that is legitimately alive in so many late rounds, you'd expect more deaths from him. And he's on 2.
Wild. Can we actually get a clean 12-0 half here for Paravision?
Oh, no. Why have you said that, Trav?
Doesn't matter. Jinxes don't exist.
Oh, they do.
Well, look, it's going to happen here. James going to get caught off, look. 2 top mid. There's no way he gets both. Okay, never mind. He actually could get both. He's a genius. James is a genius. He's got his riflers in position to help. There's no way Cirque does this, surely. 1. Oh, he's got 2. Fair play to him. But look, they're pushing Oxygen through B tunnels. And Travis is waiting for him again. That's a 3v2 again. They are actually running another player in toward B here. But the bomb's going up mid and could just go cat. Like, A is clear. But Paravision have no idea about that at the moment. Red Star's found Travis in the meantime. They're going to finally clock onto that. Leave Nota in mid to watch for a rotation and get Kicker over toward A to plant the bomb. It's an MP9 and an M4. And it's just making noise. Oh, it's awful timing. Now he's under a little bit of pressure. When does he swing? The answer's now. Perfect crosshair placement. He's loving life. Nota is a gamer. And Paravision get a clean 12-0.
Oh, man. Paravision. What a performance. And it's quite funny, Trav, because I'm not a superstitious person at all, but I 100% believe in Counter-Strike superstitions. Like, anytime caster curses, saying that I believe it. I reckon the percentages are just too high in which it happens. Now, this is where we need to now talk about the Trav law of not closing as soon as you get to 12. To have the clean game of the 13-0.
There aren't many 12-0s, I will say, that I've experienced when I've tried to put that law into practice, but we'll see. We will see. I mean, listen, I say for Paravision it was an incredibly clean 12-0. It actually wasn't, funnily enough.
No, certainly not.
Funny that. But let's see. Belchelot, his backside. There's a Molotov available, but they're already peeking him, which means just giving him an opportunity to get some more kills. But Kicker needs to deliver. He's got 1, looking for 2. They're struggling to take him down, and eventually they will. They've got their 3v3. But will they be allowed a plant? But Rainmaker creeping forward, looking for both. Doesn't get both. That could have been the seal of at least 1 round, but maybe that's the seal they need. Cirque finds Nota. It's James to try and get a 13-0. He knows where both these 2 players are, but he can't connect the shots. And 500 will manage to recover it.
Well, 500 have had everyone basically finding impact in that round. The trades are pretty good from the upper tunnels. They deal with the backside player. They deal with the player a little bit closer of Kicker. The late lurk under tunnels going in towards mid also finds a 1-for-1. For Paravision, though, you would expect a force buy here. You'd think, oh, yeah, get James on the scout. Get MP9 armor, Deagle armor. And they respected it. They're 12-1 up. What's going on? How are they going for the gun rounds?
They're playing it properly. They're playing it as they would normally. On T side, I guarantee you that James would be buying up a scout right in this scenario. Like, if it was a 12-0 CT half instead, James would be buying up a scout. Very common on D2 to get a T player on the eco, buy up the scout, and then maybe just go for the scout in the gun round again.
Spelling with this Mac 10. I mean, all rounds from this point onwards just mean nothing from 500. The only thing that does matter is how their mental's going to look going into the third map decider. James? Come on, give him 2. Give him 2. Oh my god, are they going to steal this round?
They're miles away. It's fine. It's fine. They're only going toward B. It's all good.
It's all right.
Oh dear. Well, now I've learnt today that even with a 12-0, Travis Law is intact, so it's fine. I'm happy with that. If there's anything to take from this map, it's that.
Satisfied.
Yeah. So what do you think about Anubis then, of course, which is our decider? Like, similar win rates for both, but different reps?
Yeah. When you get a series like this, I think it puts into a lot of question on what the map is actually like. To be honest, when I get really one-sided map 1 and map 2s, I almost don't want to look at how the last 3 months have gone from both of the teams, because I think you're just getting a different game, aren't you? I mean, I know that for Anubis, both teams played it in the last rounds of the Swiss, and it was very different results. I mentioned earlier it was a 1-11 comeback to be forced into OT for 500, whereas the Paravision, they faced off against Amcal. They had a 9-3 T-side and then closed it down 13-3, just didn't even lose another round after that. So at least in the very recent few officials, you've got it being extremely one-sided for one team versus what should have just been a loss to 500.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of a, as you rightly say, a bit more of a unique series, this one. Dominant map picks. Can't really gauge how it's going to be when you've got two teams just dealing with the first two in a bit of a counter. Just a full reset for map 3. You think for sure that map 3 will be a bit closer than 1 and 2. As I said, the win rate disparity between Paravision and 500 on D2 is significant. Travis is ready. Got Jane with him. Maybe they're a little bit caught on the timing that 500 are pushing up through elbow here. Considering they were swapping utility and stuff in that CT area. But 500 have parred their way to a plant in a 5v5.
Now, 500 can come back from 111 down a couple of days ago. Then surely they can come down
They're saving.
From 0 to 12.
Dweg, they're saving. I'm angry.
They're keeping the money. It's James, isn't it? They're keeping the economy line strong.
Sorry, I cut over you. Continue.
No, but yeah, I mean, do you believe, Trav? Is this going OT? Is this going to be a 500 win? 2-0?
If that happens, I will...
Oh, don't say it.
Gift you some merch I have from, from a random team. I don't know which team.
Right,
I've got something I can
500, that's what I want, mate. If they could do that much. For Paravision, you are right. They were just caught a little bit off timing. They're probably, what, 2-3 seconds late to passing that util off. If they do it a bit earlier, then you can at least lob some nades in towards short. Maybe you can post Jame up there on the car, out to ramp. But not to be. Yet to see a CT round.
That's a good point. Listen, we know we're in a T meta right now. We know D2 is definitely T-sided, but this is taking it to the next level, mate, surely.
This definitely is.
What can Paravision do with the saved by? Go for it again. Oh, James goes for a lower pick, though. Spellin knows what's going on. Here's the attempt. Removes him. I wonder how long we're going to be stuck here on D2 with Paravision on 12.
Travis is basically high and dry on this A-side defense. He's got no help, no assistance. He keeps getting flashy. Has to be another save call. Back off, hold on to your weapons. Now, last round, lower tunnels was taken by the CT side. This time, James tries to go for an aggro move, doesn't pay off. 500 could still make this a little bit expensive on just how many CTs fall at the end.
Nota gets a rude awakening there by Rainwaker being close to mid doors. But, yeah, 3-man save is fine, obviously, considering that... oh, Travis, careful. Considering they've got a bit of money from that previous save. He's still got that Galil, for goodness sake. He's been, he saved over from the eco. And of course, 500 now have the money to hunt, so I'm going to send a few players in for this one. Kick out right below the window. Should be a freebie. Red Star, I doubt will dive in here. They want to try and keep 3 alive, keep the majority up. And he will.
Yeah, it's getting dragged out for a little bit too long for my liking.
I appreciate the diligence here for Paravision. We've been calling a timeout.
Get the game wrapped up. Make sure that we get to Anubis without any kind of threat of the map itself.
Is the padding on Oxygen's headset completely screwed? It is, isn't it? I swear to God.
Is he still flashbanged? We might have to go back.
No, I don't think he is. I think
the sun's gone down a little bit. There's been some cloud coverage.
Yeah.
That's got to just be the webcam. There's no way that he's playing like that.
Yeah. Probably. Because, like, sun glare on a monitor is one of the most annoying things, surely.
Oh,
like.
yeah. Yeah, not the one.
Oh, close. Full circ, but no cigar on the mid cross. There we go. Oxygen, I don't know what that yellow pad is underneath his head.
Yeah, I do see what you mean now.
It's like a sponge, maybe. Maybe the A cup's completely ruined.
Might need a little bit of prize pool here in Compass. Get a deep run, upgrade the headset. It will be nice to finally see them on land, because I think 500 as an org have been to very few lands across the last couple of years that they've been investing since they bought over the Skade roster.
Yeah.
Even for Paravision, you feel at some point they're going to crack a tier 1 land like you mentioned, but they've had chances, and I'd say for the most part, they've not even come close. The nearest one would have been getting Pro League from ECL.
Yeah, and considering they came into that one, of course, a map down due to the BF5 advantage for Bait, like, to get to 2-1, they would have felt, oh my goodness, like, can we actually do this now? And then Bait just kind of switched back on again and can actually get a Team 11 map 4 and a complete sweep of a map 5. Can the 500 stay alive in D2 here, though? Kickert is on site. Should get one. Oh my goodness, Kickert, please. Kickert, please. Kickert, I beg of you. What's gone on there, then? That is a very bad miss, we call that in the trade. And Rainwaker and Cirque should be able to recover this one. Kickert is still alive somehow after so many attempts to get this kill. You just can't get it over the line. Kickert, lock in, King. What's going on?
Oh man, Bellshock's have to win a 1v2 and they already know that he's towards long now. Oh, they've completely trolled this. Oh my god, what's happened there? This is starting to turn into like the Amcal NIP series. That is just the freest kill of all time for Kicker.
Oh dear. It's an A1S. It's easy to spray and burst, dude. Come on now.
I actually believe, Trav, that if my hand was on the mouse and your hand was on the keyboard, we even get that kill. Like,
I think so, genuinely.
That's how I'm convinced of how easy that kill really was.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just I think, to be fair, we're both pretty middling level 10 players, but I think we're pretty confident we both get that kill. Anyway, Travis will manage to get one of the openings toward long to at least trade out oxygen. And, well, 10 Kickert redeem himself. He's pushing towards short. Watch him get an instant double dink this round. Okay, James got a collateral. Maybe that's the way you can finally finish it off. He's got Travis's support. Leaves Cirque last alive. Bit of a comedic game, especially the beginning, when 500 could just not get a round on the board to save their lives, with so many opportunities on low investment rounds. And somewhat of a comedic ending as well. But finally, it looks like Vision are going to get this one over the line with a James collateral to help it out. Cirque, 1v3, smoke on the cross, bomb to be picked up, will finally grab it. Going to use all of his utility to the best of his ability, which is fair enough. There's a gap in that cross smoke to work with, actually, but James ready for it. Oh, they'll both miss. Oh, Benny Hill music. Cirque's managed to find James. He's got time to run toward B. No, surely not.
This is
surely.
This is actually very winnable for Cirque, because he's trying to fight against the rotator before he gets the bomb down. Now, if Cirque can somehow isolate both of these fights, he should go aggro here. He should try and fight against the CT player straight away.
Yeah, it's the right move to make. And they're actually splitting up. Oh my god. They're splitting up.
Here
One
we go.
through tunnel. They're playing so defensively, they're miles away.
They're saving, are they? Yeah.
Are they saving 2v1? What's going on? They've got kit. I got a kit on Nota. It's fine. But Nota's coming through CT. The kit's going to be dropped. The kit's going to be dropped absolutely miles away. And Travis, coming through tons, surely will not be able to have the time to figure this one out. Cirque's dancing with him. Cirque is going to be winning a ridiculous 1v3. And Travis can just escape towards CT and save. What have I just watched?
What is going on? How do we get into a position? First off, why is James even sitting around the smoke? Why is he there? Like, there's no support. There's no CT in sight. He's got an AWP out of all weapons. At least if he had a rifle against an AWP, you could kind of understand it. It's just a 3v1 in which they've just trolled so hard. I can't believe that's happened twice
and the short
now.
Player. The short player didn't even instantly trade him when he was on the new box. Oh my god, dude.
Give us OT. I'm begging for it now.
Imagine. Oh, can you catch your breath? What a weird, probably one of the weirdest games of D2 I've covered in a very long time, honestly. Finally, maybe this is the time they close it out.
Unless?
I mean, I said surely last round, so...
Yeah, well, James previously got a collateral and didn't close. Now he's got at least 2, not a collat. Poor Cirque is like, am I going to have to do this again? Am I going to have to recover the unthinkable?
Imagine he does it again. What world are we living in? Flash over toward Pit. Travis is pinned. Got help from Jim on the corner there, and that's why 500 need to use the smoke to gather that kill up. Actually allows them to peek Travis properly, but James still got a good angle. They're boosting Cirque above that smoke, actually, on the corner of Pit. There's the information. There's a pick from James. Cirque now needs a 1v4. One more than what he found last time. Surely not. James. He'll offer up his life again, but they've now dinked him. So, 4 HP. There's a flanker toward long. 30 seconds. 3, 2, 1. And finally, this very, very weird game of Dust 2 will come to an end. But it's another one that is, on the scoreboard, a comfortable win for Paravision.
At least it was entertaining. At least I had a little bit of fun towards the end there. Because at times in that first half, it dragged on, didn't it? It was sort of one of those matches where, especially later on in the gun rounds, it just didn't get much of a fight back at all. And when you look at the scorelines of Inferno and Dust 2, it does make you kind of ponder how both of these teams are striving to be the top end of Tier 2. If we're just getting a lack of adaptability, or even just a lack of a fight so far in this best-of-3 series.
It's a very good point, yeah. I mean, you know, Paravision on Inferno didn't really adjust to what 500 were throwing at them on Banana, quite literally, not just utility, just bodies as well. And on Dust 2, well, it's, yeah, just so many close rounds for 500. That will be the hallmark of the map. Just so many opportunities to maybe get a good number of rounds on the board in the first half. It could have easily been like 7-5, could easily have been maybe an 8-4, but yeah, they lost a couple of... I say a couple, I think maybe 4 or 5 advantages overall. So, as you can see, Travis, great map, 21-6, and a couple of really important clutches for his team. James, 19-10, 108 ADR. Actually, even though with less kills than Travis, and as the AWPer, still got more ADR, which is maybe a little bit more unusual. But Nota as well, even though he went 16-13, important to mention him, because he cracked open the A site with entries towards short very, very often in that one.
And Paravision, all jokes aside, will look at that map and say we're back. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had a really poor map number 1. It's a much better Dust 2 showing. And we expect our Anubis to be stronger than our Inferno. And for a squad that should be at a higher end, I mean, even if we're comparing the two, they're at a similar level, but I think Paravision have had higher peaks when it comes to beating certain squads, pressing on in these